Over 600 models, one mega fortress, and one massive battle report. Welcome to the Siege of Helms Deep.
So it begins.
Isengard has been unleashed. The mighty hordes of Saruman the traitor make war upon the land of Rohan. And here in the ancient fortress of the Hornburg, refugees and soldiers alike gather to make a valiant stand. King Theoden and his Rohirrim have marched to Helms Deep, leading the people of Edoras to safety within the walls of the Hornburg. And joined by the three hunters and a force of the Galadrim, the forces of good have prepared to fight to the last against the reckless hate of the hordes of Isengard. They must hold on, in failing hope that help will come, but armed with the devilry of Orthanc, fire shall undo stone, and without aid, evil will certainly prevail. In today's epic battle report, we are finally playing a game of Lord of the Rings Warhammer on the Zorpazorp Helms Deep Megaboard, and we have got two unbelievable games for you, one right here on Zorp of the Rings, and a second live right now over on Conquest Creations. Manning the defenses of the Hornburg today, it is I, Lockie of Zorpazorp.
Fourth Eolingas!
I've got over 150 defenders, including Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and Haldir manning the Deeping Wall with a contingent of the Galadrim, and King Theoden and Gamling and my beloved Rohirrim manning the main keep itself. And if all things go to plan, these won't be the only good models we see today, with Éomer, Gandalf, and an absolute horde of cavalry riding through the night to come to my rescue. But marshalling over 400 Uruk-hai and Dunlendings desperate to wipe the people of Rohan from the face of Middle-earth is none other than the almighty Jacob from Conquest Creations.
Bad start. Oh, it's good.
Our game today lasts for 12 turns, and at the end of the game, the side which claims more of our 6 critical objectives will be victorious. These zones represent defensive infrastructure that are vital for control of Helms Deep. The valley floor, the Deeping Wall, the outer battlement, the inner courtyard, the rear battlement, and of course, the main gate. 650 models, the greatest wargaming board I've ever built. The great battle of our time is about to begin.
So it begins.
Turn 1 began with Isengard seizing priority and storming forward with almost 400 models, desperate to get in range of the Deeping Wall and start preparing the myriad of siege equipment at their disposal. The evil force today is a huge mix of fighting Uruk-hai, berserkers, Dunlendings, and scouts, but as intimidating as this murderous horde may seem, the real threats lie hidden within the ranks of evil, as down on the valley floor, Jacob surged forward his secret weapons. The Uruk-hai demolition charges, sensing weakness at the Deeping Stream culvert. But the Deeping Wall isn't the only avenue of attack, as the Uruks began their march up the causeway, bringing yet more devilry of Saruman. But the fortress of Rohan will not stay silent for long, as the Galadrim took up the cry and volleyed down into the mass ranks of the Uruk-hai, felling a handful of the great orc warriors, though it is but a few leaves in a forest. Isengard won priority again for turn 2, this time choosing to let the elves on the wall move first, who had little to do but sit and await the evil onslaught, and onslaught there was.
Reach the walls! Getting up on the wall, fly!
In this scenario, any berserker within 6 inches of the base of the wall may immediately deploy a siege ladder against the Deeping Wall and ride it all the way to the top, launching a devastating charge upon the defenders. These spiked ladders also deny the defenders the barrier bonus usually granted by fortifications. Such is the wizardry of Saruman's cunning devices. And Jacob used this rule to full effect, raising 12 ladders, and the evil horde behind stormed up the ladders, ready to surge into any breach the lethal berserkers could create in the combat phase.
Dude, you have so many ladders.
You know, there's a couple berserkers that are about to kill some elves.
I'm gonna have to rely heavily on the 3 hunters to push them off. Let's try and save the Deeping Wall.
Good luck.
Down in the Deeping Stream, the demolition team surged out of the ranks of the Uruks, with the elven bowmen distracted by the ladder assault and began to stack the culvert with explosives. On the causeway, the battering ram trundled forwards ever closer to the main gate, but the inexorable advance of the great siege ram had now brought it in range of the Rohirrim bowmen, who opened fire, massing 30 shots from across the outer battlement, managing only a pitiful 8 hits, but then racked up 4 sixes to annihilate the front ranks of the ram carriers. That is going to buy the main gate some time. Then the fight phase began in earnest, with a few casualties on both sides, but with some decent rolling by the defenders, we saw only 2 berserkers cut their way onto the walls.
Elves did reasonably well, but it's time for Gimli and Haldir to show them how it is done. I'm going to start with Gimli. Big, strong 6, so he's on it on fight value, and chopping up our Zerker. That is 1 wound for you, Jakey. I'll do your fate save. And he is out of there.
You will fear the dwarves!
And then Haldir fighting another Berserker. 2 attacks. I do have the fight value, though. And no 6 here. Let's see what you get, Jakey. Oh, I've got you just. And work by the heroes.
1 wound. All right, roll this Fury save for me.
2 Berserkers down.
Foul creatures!
Well, the battle has well and truly begun, and turn 3 kicked off with the forces of good claiming priority and jumping in on the berserkers, breaching the lines, and marshalling all the Galadrim to defend against the latter assault. The battlements cannot afford to get overrun this early in the game. The evil horde kept surging forwards, ready to mount all the ladders, and maybe even sneak through an as-yet unrevealed avenue of attack.
So because Lockie's shot out half of my guys carrying the battering ram, I'm going to use half my move just to pick it back up to keep it moving forwards.
Jacob's Uruks lumbered forward and picked up the ram, and now it's fully loaded, the entire ram may make its half-speed movement. If I can keep that beast moving at half speed each turn, I've actually got a chance of holding the gate.
Attack, Urukai!
Then down at the Deeping Stream culvert, the Uruk engineers finished loading all 3 demolition charges into the drain, and then a rather crazed-looking berserker lit his flaming brand and began to sprint through the ranks of the Urukai. Has anybody seen Legolas? The Rohirrim and the Hornburg again opened fire on the battering ram, but every inch higher it reaches up the causeway, the less archers can see, and sadly, I only managed to kill a single Uruk, so it will be moving full speed next turn. Then, to make matters worse, the Urukai crossbowmen are finally in range, and they aimed up at the ramparts to try and thin out the elves not yet in combat and make it easier for the berserkers to cut some space on the walls. 30 shots saw 14 hits.
Go the battlements of Helms Deep.
Thank goodness for in the way rolls.
3 kills, look, I can't be unhappy with that, but I want them all.
Meat's back on the menu.
In this fight phase, I lost 4 berserkers. I did take down 4 of the defenders, including 3 elves, and look, honestly, I'm okay with a 1-to-1 trade. I started with 400 models and Lockie only has 150, so look, I think I'm still ahead on the model count. All right, our next fight is my 1 berserker here, and he is surrounded by elves, so I'm gonna use my berserker blade special rule. If I win this fight, I can do a strike against all 3 of them.
You do not win the fight, though.
Only because I'm two-handing when I do that.
Trapped now, my friend, which I'm going to need.
Roll that again. Okay, the 5 is a kill, but I have my Berserker Fury special rule. 6 up save. I don't know if I trust you to roll my dice anymore.
Too bad, man. I'm getting all those berserkers killed. Aragorn is getting involved. Him and Gimli on 1 poor Urukai. I think we've got another safe kill here. Show me a 6. Yes, good work, boys.
Yep.
Just got him. And then Haldir showing the rest of the elves how it's done. Let's take control of this bloody wall. He is on a 5.
Give me a 6, come on.
Books. No,
Oh.
5s to wound here.
Fury save, come on.
Oh, I've got to give you 1 6.
Come on.
Just as the defenders roared with defiance, Saruman's forces revealed their secret weapon. With all 3 demolition charges in place, at the end of each turn, a single berserker within 6 inches may run the gauntlet to ignite the fire of Orthanc, but I have a secret weapon of my own.
Aragorn is screaming to Legolas, bring him down! I have 3 shots to kill this berserker. Shot number 1, 2 to hit. It's a hit. I need a 6 to wound. No wounds. That's okay. I'm Legolas. I can shoot 3 times. 2 to hit. It's a hit. 6 to wound. I can't burn any might on that. 3rd and final time. He hits. That's not where I needed the 6. It's a 4. I'm gonna spend the might. If I kill this guy, which I probably will now, it's a whole extra turn to protect the wall, but...
I've got a 6 up Fury saved. Roll it for me, Lockie. Come on, it's a 6. You know it's a 6.
No!
That is beautiful.
The deeping wall explodes!
That is so good.
With a large breach blown in the deeping wall, every model in the blast zone immediately suffers a strength 9 hit and is flung directly back 8 inches, except for the poor Gimli, who sinks like a dwarven stone into the depths of the rapidly flooding deeping stream. Luckily, Aragorn and Gimli remain unwounded, but are about to be in a whirl of trouble as any Uruk-hai warrior within 6 inches of the breach now gets a free move, and the Uruk-hai forces surge through the swirling waters to rapidly dominate the objective and pin Gimli in combat. Not to be outdone by this evil twist of fortune, all elven warriors within 12 inches of the breach with an unobstructed path to the deeping wall stairwells may redeploy to reinforce Aragorn's battered force of defenders, ready to hold back the Uruk-hai storm. Unable to overweaken the upper battlement, I retreated just a handful of elves and my glorious banner to rally behind Aragorn and prepare to take the fight to the forces of evil. Gimli must be rescued.
Gotta try and save him. I'm gonna roll priority for both of us, Jakey.
Here we go.
Don't want to lose. Okay, it's a tie, so it swings to you, but I've, of course, Aragorn the man, heroic move in there. Let's go save Gimli.
Aragorn surged forwards, landing in combat with the Uruk fighting Gimli, and then the entire elven line charged into combat. I really don't have many numbers here, especially against the endless horde at Jacob's disposal. This is my one chance at holding this breach in the line.
The big moment, we gotta deploy the Leggy Meister to try and save Gimli. So Leggy does his move to the top of the stairs, and then he can slide down on an Uruk-hai shield. Into the Uruks. He hits on the first one. We need a big 6. No, we don't. This is Leggy all over again. We've got a 4 to hit. It's actually 5s against those pikemen. No luck. We're gonna get someone here. A big 6. And he killed nothing. Flicks the Uruk-hai shield straight into this pikeman's face. A single strength 6 hit, so a 4, which does kill him. And then Leggy is able to get in behind and join Aragorn's combat. That is going to help Gimli later on very much indeed.
My redeployment did come at a cost, however, as Jacob kicked off his movement with a horde of fighting Uruks launching over the deeping wall on the now cut-off eastern end before the ever-encroaching masses mounted their ladders to keep pushing back my Galadrim. On the causeway, the battering ram's inexorable advance continued. Without some better shooting this turn, that ram is going to be unstoppable. With nearly 600 models on the board, it's rather difficult to pay close attention to every single part of the battle, and after a few successful turns by the berserkers on the deeping wall closest to the Hornburg, Jacob suddenly found a breach in my lines, and an Uruk and Dunlending kill team leapt through my broken formation and surged forward to begin an assault on the rear Hornburg stairwell. With evil priority, Jacob kicked off his shooting with yet more Uruk-hai crossbows.
Attack formation!
That's rubbish. The battlements save me.
Fire!
I need this roll again. That would be a lot of dead elves. Here we go.
Fire at will!
Just 2. I'll take it.
Have a bolt ready.
Formation for Rohan!
And then it was time to knock my bows and try to stop this damn battering ram.
6s on the fighting Uruk-hai.
Not a single Uruk goes down. That ram is coming on strong.
That's what we want.
Engage! Ramage!
The maelstrom of combat across the deeping wall battlement continued, with the elves busting out some killer dice rolls and holding the center wall section reasonably well. Haldir did lose his combat, but managed to remain unwounded and push back the Uruk trying to split his head open.
So down here at the Deeping Wall breach, we've got a heroic combat to start this area of combats. Aragorn and Legolas are in together with a single elf. I'm going to call the heroic combat with Leggy. I think I'm going to need Aragorn's might because he's spent his free. So I have got 2 attacks with Leggy, 3 attacks with Aragorn, hunting that big 6 so Jacob doesn't even have to roll.
I'm getting the 6.
Thank goodness for that.
But yeah, I've got a banner though.
Oh, that's true.
Watch me do this.
Good.
No.
And that is one very dead Uruk-hai. So he is gone, and now Aragorn, Legolas, and this elf all get to move. Now Gimli is here, lying down, so Aragorn's going to get in there and help him, and then Legolas is going to dive in here and cut off the pikemen to pull all those attacks off Aragorn and Gimli's fight. So let's start with Legolas.
All right, so I've got 2 pikes against him now.
I've opened Leggy the Prince up a little bit here.
Oh, I'm on a 6 in there.
I'm going to burn the point of might. I cannot afford the Prince of Mirkwood getting all mushed here in the front of the Uruk line. So he takes it, and then let's see if he can wound up the guy in front of him. I can't, but that doesn't matter. I have pushed back the line, and now Aragorn and Gimli are in a much, much better position. Gimli's going to use 3 attacks instead of 2.
I've set the bar on a 3.
I've picked it away on 5s. Now we've won the combat, so Gimli will just stand up, but Aragorn does get to attempt to make strikes. He needs 5s to pick off that Uruk, and he just gets him. So we have cut our way through, and Gimli is safe, plucked out of the water. The 3 hunters are going strong.
Across the rest of the Deeping Breach fights, the dice turned against the elves, with the mass pike ranks bringing the pain to bear upon my valiant Galadrim. I lost 3 elves without killing a single Uruk in return, and at the end of turn 4, 1/3 of the way through the game, it feels like things are about to go from bad to worse for the defenders. The Deeping Wall is in trouble, Uruks are sneaking up to the rear battlement, and the gate will soon be under siege. Then, to make matters even more difficult, I won priority, but lost the heroic move roll-off to Jacob's Uruk-hai captain in the breach, and the Uruks surged forward, wrapping and pinning my elven line.
Attack, Uruk-hai! Slay them all!
Up on the walls, I defended the few ladders that I could and tried to chase down the stealth team who'd broken the lines.
Meet them with elven blade! Show them no mercy! There they are!
But out in the deep, with his crossbowmen running out of targets, Jacob threw his full force towards the Deeping Wall.
Attack!
On the causeway, the ram finally reached the gate, and the massive Uruks did a few warm-ups and stretches, getting ready to batter the timber and iron to splinters and jagged shards. On numbers alone, the Uruks now hold the valley floor, the Deeping Wall, and the gate itself, whose scoring area extends 6 inches out over the causeway, taking the score to 3-all. But desperate to get a lead on that scoreline, the Uruk sneak attack force sprinted up the speed-boosted stairwell to assault the rear Hornburg battlement.
Over 650 models in this battle report, and if you're looking to purchase something similar, or any other slightly less insane hobby purchases, make sure you check out my affiliate links down in the description. I've hunted out the best prices no matter what region you live in the world, and every purchase through those links sends a kickback to help support the channel and help me keep on doing all of the Zorpazorp Locky madness. Well, the breach is kind of gone, I think. Like, that, I lost so many elves on the wall. I need to get Aragorn and Legolas out of there. Now, once per game, they can effectively teleport, but they have to end that turn in base contact with each other and then be redeployed, probably to the Hornburg, to save that gate. And to do that, I need to get them back together, Jacob. I'm going to call a heroic combat with... I'm going to spend a point of Gimli's might, and Aragorn and Gimli are in the fight together. Who have you got,
Right.
Jacob?
I've got 1 Uruk-hai, and I'm going to set the bar with a shield.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's good.
No. All right, I've got 6 dice. This should be okay. Go on, bud. Spend another point with Gimli.
Huge.
He is up to 6, but we win the fight, and now we have to make the kill. Got him.
That'll
got
do
him.
it.
Chopped up by the future king, and now these guys can heroic combat through to land in base contact with Legolas, and that's going to set us up for the end of the turn. Sort of forgot that Legolas's combat was mega important. If he loses, he would have died and been out of position and not been able to teleport. But luckily, thanks to the big banner, he got a 6 and managed to kill the Uruk. So the 3 hunters are in position to redeploy.
On the deeping wall, I killed another 2 berserkers, but paid a blood price of 3 elves. A worthwhile trade for Jacob, because my numbers are just so much more finite than his massive hordes. Heldir, though, is fighting against his cinematic fate, and managed to hold several Uruk-hai at bay, even killing one of his berserker assailants.
So my battering ram has finally made it to the gate, and I'm ready to do some damage. Because I've got 8 guys touching this battering ram, it's going to go with a strength 10 hit against this gate. The gate is defense 10 and 3 wounds. I've got 2 dice to do it, so I want to put 2 wounds on it.
Break down the gate!
1 wound down, I've only got 3. This gate is already in trouble.
With the deeping wall essentially lost and the main gate now in serious threat, it's time for the 3 hunters to try and save the day. In this scenario, at the end of any turn, if the 3 hunters are in base contact, they may immediately redeploy to anywhere inside the inner keep of the Hornburg. Shout out to Nick and the folks over at Play on Tabletop for that awesome special rule idea. So with the Galadrim in full retreat, the 3 hunters sprinted back through the Hornburg, with Legolas taking up position in the western tower of the gatehouse, while Gimli and Aragorn deployed out of the postern door at the tower's base. And now it's time to show you guys possibly the greatest gaming moment I have had in 25 years of Lord of the Rings Warhammer.
I cannot jump. I said you're gonna have to toss me. Aragorn and Gimli are going to jump onto the causeway, and we are going to displace this battering ram and get it away from my gate. Aragorn is going to give him a big old toss. We just need to pass the jump test. Let's not fail that. No ones here, thank you very much. That one is out of the... There we go. All right, big 6. There we go. So Gimli gets an impact hit. 2 strength 6 impact hits into every model that he smashes into. He is landing with a berserker and an Uruk-hai warrior. So I need 4s here on the first one. And that is 1 dead Uruk-hai, and then 4s on Jacob's berserker. And 2 dead Uruk-hai. Let me get some Jacob dice. And the 2 fury saves and fails both. So these guys get smashed off. And Gimli jumps on, and he has beautifully made space for both Aragorn and Gimli, but Aragorn still needs to do his jump test. No falling into the chasm, Aragorn. Follow Gimli. Yes, in he goes.
With Aragorn and Gimli buying me time at the gate and shooting no longer able to slow down the battering ram, I redeployed some of my Rohirrim manning the walls down the inner ramp towards the main gate. But outside on the causeway below, the Uruk-hai reinforcements surged up towards our hardy dwarf and our valiant Lord of Men.
Turn 6 shooting phase, Legolas is going to rain down hell on these, well, swarm of Uruks before they kind of overwhelm Aragorn and Gimli. I'm going to go 3 shots into the back, guys, try and thin the ranks. Hitting twice. Nothing. Great, excellent, very helpful Legolas, but that is fine because it is all about Aragorn and Gimli. Now Gimli is way too low on resources, but Aragorn's got his free point of might, so a heroic combat for him, and that's where we're going to start. Fighting the single Uruk back up against the door, he's got 3 attacks. Oh, you've got to be joking me. How much might have I got left? Let me just check the MESBG tracker. Pass me the phone. According to the MESBG tracker, I have got 2 might left with Aragorn. That is one. This is just the stupidest spend of might. But I don't want.
If you lose this fight, you have to push back, which means you will fall off the edge.
I've got to do it.
So those are your options. Yeah. Spend a might or fall.
No, I'm doing it. Okay, so another might. Aragorn's down to 1, and we better kill this bloody Uruk-hai now. He is trapped. I don't even need it. He is minced.
Do it.
And now the combat goes off, and now I'm going to charge probably just into this 1 berserker here. And
so the bar 2-handing.
Yes.
5 down to a 4.
2-handing helps me. Yes, it does. Cut up this berserker, and 2 big 6s. That's the Aragorn we want.
2 berserker fury saves. I need 6s here.
Aragorn is cutting away the members of the battering ram. Let's see if Gimli can lead by example. He's going to choose to use 3 attacks. He's not going to do the 2-handed axe blow. And he's only on 4s.
And I'm on a 5.
Well, luckily, Gimli won't fall off because Aragorn went first. So I'm actually going to lose that combat, and Gimli's just going to back up nice and close with Aragorn. You get a chance to wound here, Jacob. And 1. Okay, we played it safe. We're buying time, we're disrupting the battering ram, the plan's kind of working.
Now, for such a monster battle report, we needed a huge amount of extra special dice because nothing feels better to any wargamer than a bucket load of army-themed dice. Every time I go to an event lately, all I'm seeing is gorgeous dice sets from Baron of Dice. And when the Baron himself reached out to help kit us up for the biggest Warhammer battle I've ever played, we jumped at the chance.
Baron of Dice strive to create the best dice in the world, and you can literally feel the difference in your hand as you hold them.
Their hand-swirled resin dice are heavier, bubble-free, and precision engraved to deliver superior quality, balance, and detail. There's just no rival. Each design is crafted with the amazing tabletop wargaming community in mind. There is a huge range of art styles and designs available, so you'll easily find something perfect to suit your army. I got the Baron to just send me a boatload of different sets, so I could have fun mixing and matching sets for my forces and kitting out my tournament toolkit with gorgeous shiny new dice.
Baron of Dice also make a full range of accessories, dice cups, dice trays, playmats, deck boxes, and even a full range of RPG dice.
Every single dice you've seen in the battle report today was sent straight to us from the Baron, and they have been an absolute dream to roll. And gorgeous quality themed dice, it just took the gaming experience to a whole new level.
So if you want to get some premium quality dice for all your wargaming needs, check out Baron of Dice, link down in the description, and use code ZORP at checkout for a sweet little discount, and a huge thank you to Baron of Dice for sponsoring today's video. Alright, priority for turn 7. A big 4, saving Aragorn's free might point, thankfully. So Gimli's gonna charge up first and hurl his throwing axe. A big 6. Oh, no way! Vicious stuff. And then Aragorn can pick up the 2. We are clearing this battering ram here.
Inside the Hornburg, the warriors of Rohan sprinted down ever closer to reinforcing the gate.
Fresh meat.
And the Uruks on the causeway surged forwards.
Leave none alive. Slash them.
I'm going greedy again here with Aragorn, another heroic combat. So we're up against 2 wild men this time, and I'm still only 4 high. Yes!
Oh, it's enough though.
I got away with that. Okay, so I'm only needing 4s to wound here. And 2 5s. So Aragorn charging on through into this wild men here. And 4 high for the 3rd time.
Oh, you got away with it again.
Jeez, buddy Aragorn, come on. Anyway, he chops this guy up, luckily, D3. That's 3 models for Aragorn, and now we're into Gimli, and he's fighting just the one Uruk.
1 a 6.
Come on, Gimli. And he's got the 6 as well. And not cutting him up.
Not getting a kill.
That's okay, we're holding the line.
Another neck to cleave.
With good taking priority for turn 8, the Rohan garrison redeployment was now complete, with the main gate now braced from within. This has thinned my garrison on the walls above, but that's future Lockie's problem.
We'll blow through any gate.
Now, over the last 2 turns, things down in the Deeping Wall have been absolutely bloody. The mass of the Uruk-hai army has now fully surged up to the Deeping Wall, and without the might of the 3 hunters, not only have the elves lost killing power, but also the ability to call heroic moves to hold the Uruks in place, and the Galadrim are dying by the handful.
9 elves dead in exchange for 0 Uruk-hai.
The sole beacon of hope is the now abandoned Haldir, who is still holding the berserkers at bay, who we just kept throwing at him to try and get him killed like the scene from the movie, but he just isn't following the script and keeps killing berserkers. Up at the rear battlement, things haven't fared much better. Raining down arrows on the Uruks advancing up the stairs had little effect, as the movement boost granted by this section of the castle saw the Uruks almost at the walls by the end of turn 8's movement.
Haldir is completely surrounded and out of might. Set the tone for me with this mass horde of Uruks.
2-handed on the black dice.
Oh my god, that is almost the worst roll I've ever seen. I need a 6. That is nothing that I can.
Nope.
That is all yours. All right, Haldir. It might be goodbye. I don't think you need to roll it twice. When Haldir goes down, he does do a strength 4 hit on every single model in the fight. So one last chance for elvish victory on the Deeping Wall. 1, 2. There we go.
Not dead.
He takes the berserkers down, but I think it's safe to say that the deeping wall has fallen.
With only 4 turns left, we are now 2/3 of the way through this battle, and it stands upon the edge of a knife. Resistance on the deeping wall is all but entirely swept away, and even though Aragorn and Gimli are holding the gate, the objective is still in Evil's control, with the sheer numbers they can score on the causeway part of the scoring zone. With the valley floor firmly held for Isengard, and the Hornburg outer battlement, courtyard, and rear battlement for Rohan, the scoreline is tied at 3-all. But as turn 9 begins, the evil forces deploy the last ace from Saruman's many-coloured sleeve as the true might of his siege arsenal have slowly reached the battlefield and prepare to fire.
Line it up! Release it!
So my siege ballistas have arrived, and I'm gonna try to attempt to get these massive ladders up the side of the Hornburg.
I thought I was safe. 4 to hit for each ballista, and a ladder will go up. Let's see the first one.
All right, here we go.
That's not ideal, but it's okay, because I have Legolas, so I'm going to try and shoot the rope out, which is a defense 3 1-wound item. I need 3s to hit. I've got 2 hits. I need a single 4, and I've got 2 4s. The rope is obliterated.
We have the next 3 ballistas. That's 2 going up.
2 massive ladders. One berserker on one poor little Rohan warrior.
Roll for me. If you're gonna roll my dice, don't roll 2 1s.
That's what I'm talking about. A 6 for me and double 1s for you. So we're buffing this guy back. 2 warriors, and can we cut him double 6s?
Hang on, you gotta roll my 2 fury saves. I reckon
Just
I can
like
pass
that?
these.
Just like that?
2 6s.
Oh, so close. This berserker is out of here.
The second ladder wasn't so fortunate for my Rohirrim, with a berserker hacking down just a single warrior to leap over the battlements. With Uruks about to pour onto the upper ramparts of the Hornburg, Aragorn and Gimli's work at the gate was done, so they executed 2 heroic combats to fall back into base contact away from the Uruk horde, and Legolas gave them a helping hand to get them where they are urgently needed. Well, here it is, the big turning point of this battle. The gate will soon fall, and so too maybe the Hornburg itself. With evil winning priority and my heroes all out of position to stop the horde climbing ladders, this is going to be bloody. Somehow, I need to hold 4 objectives to win this game, and as soon as I lose the gate, that is going to make the battlements so vital. With the last of the deeping wall resistance now obliterated, the evil horde surged towards the Hornburg, with the lead elements of the force pushing right up the stairwell into the rear battlement. As expected, Jacob's horde poured over the upper rampart, and it is here I'm beginning to feel the pain of sending the garrison down to reinforce the gate below. Bear in mind, I still haven't had a move phase since these ladders were raised. Jacob has just taken full advantage of my thin lines and punched a hole right through. My Rohirrim redeployed as best they could, mostly just running away from the engaged enemy models to set up a charge for Aragorn and Gimli, and then in the shooting phase, Legolas used his lethal single shot to kill one of the Uruks in combat in the middle of the ranks to set up a brutal play for Aragorn and Gimli.
Kicking off the combat phase with Aragorn's heroic combat, Gimli is in there too, and these guys are going to cut through and go deep into the Uruks thanks to Legolas in the shooting phase. Setting the tone, boys, and we've got the big 6, 4s and 5s, and he is very dead. Gimli cuts him up, and now I can fly all the way in here and get a charge for both of them and set up some future mess in the combat phase. Come on, boys, save Helms Deep.
Meat's back on the menu.
Death!
Slay them all!
Back to the castle.
So my sneak attack here in the rear battlement has begun. This is my first turn where I've actually been able to charge in, and we're gonna start with a fight between this warrior of Rohan and my Uruk-hai Berserker. I'm gonna roll for you here, Lockie. You're on a 6.
Oh yes, this is better.
I'm only on a 3 down to a 2 because I'm always two-handed with these guys.
Kill him.
I reckon I'm gonna be trapped in there, so I'll roll that again. Oh, that is a wound. I'm only D5 Fury save. I'm dead. I hope the rest of the fights go better than that because that was a bad start.
Leave him.
Attack! Trample them! For Rohan!
And here we are at the end of the fight phase. It's my battering ram. I just need 2 4s here to destroy the gate. There we go. Got it.
Four new Megazorptrons are getting a statue dedicated in their honor here on the Patreon honor wall today. Ethan has a Ministerith Bannerman with a marble finish. Defallen B, a Mordor Siege Orc in gold. Smollett has Samwise from Shelob's Lair in a mossy stone. And Tyler Clayton has Big Boromir from Gondor in a lovely mossy stone. A massive shout out to these guys and all of my Megazorptrons and all my incredible patrons. If you guys would like a statue dedicated in your honor or a plaque with your name on it or on one of the banners, and you'd like to support all of this madness here at Zorpazorp, the only way that these kind of crazy projects unfold is with the support of my Patreons. There's heaps of other perks available, so go and check out Patreon down in the description. It's so important to this channel, and I cannot thank all of my patrons enough.
The battle rages on. The valley, the deeping wall, and the gate are lost, and the rear and outer battlement are under siege. If this turn goes badly, I could be at risk of losing control of 5 out of 6 objectives. Luckily, a vital priority saw my Rohirrim finally able to seize the initiative atop the Hornburg outer battlement, tying up the Uruks, and with Aragorn and Gimli again setting up for a big heroic combat off a single enemy, I've got to keep them moving through the fortress and back towards King Theoden. At the gate, the Rohirrim jumped over the splintered beams of the destroyed gate and formed a shield wall. We can't hold this objective against the Uruk's overwhelming numbers, but we can try and save the inner Hornburg from being overrun. On the rear battlement, I've got maybe 1 or 2 good fights left in me here, but the Uruks won't stop running up the stairs, and then to make matters worse, I'd realized I'd made an absolutely critical error. With the upper Hornburg overrun at the western end, I've lost my troops guarding the deeping wall access tunnel. The Hornburg is officially breached. This is looking dire.
Retreat! Attack! Fall back!
The combat phase was bloody. I lost most of my front rank down at the gate, but up in the Hornburg, Aragorn and Gimli successfully slingshotted off their heroic combat, but instead of charging those Uruks from the deeping wall stair, they sprinted back to the inner courtyard. We've had enough of this foot-slogging nonsense. It's time to ride for Wrath, for Ruin, and the Red Dawn.
So it is turn 10, and Aragorn is inside the inner courtyard of the Hornburg, and it is time for the horn of Helm Hammerhand to sound in the deep one last time.
One last time. Yes! Yes! Fell deeds awake. Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the Red Dawn!
Every single hero that is in the Hornburg can now be redeployed in the inner courtyard on horse, ready to ride out. Forth Eolingas!
Forth Eolingas!
Rohan get automatic priority for this turn. No evil models can move, they're too scared of the horn, and all my Rohan warriors are out of the way. It is time for the massive cavalry charge. Theoden and Aragorn leading down, and every single Isengard model we hit, 2 strength 6 impact hits here in the move phase. Whoa, forced to wound? That is 1 dead Uruk-hai. A berserker dies. Fury save. No! Slamming into 2 models at the same time. On the berserker. Dead. 2 wounds, he's gone. On the Uruk-hai warrior. Another dead Isengard model. The Hornburg is clear and out to the gate. 2 Uruks on the causeway, both dead. Forced to wound, they're both dead as well. Forced to wound, and he's finally stopped right before the causeway. The charge has ended, but they will of course now be in combat. And I think there might be some more cavalry joining the field.
First light on the 5th day, from the east, Gandalf the White and Eomer, 3rd Marshal of the Riddermark, have surged down into the deep with 65 Rohirrim at their back and are bearing down upon the Central Valley floor objective at the crossing of the 2 deeping streams. The evil force, terrified of the true White Wizard, fell back into ranks ready to take the charge next turn, and the stage is set for a monster showdown on the rocky scree of Helms Deep in turn 12. Up in the rear battlement, there had been some fierce combat over the last few turns, with many men of Rohan and Uruk-hai slain, but the numbers of the defenders are thinning, and that objective is looking very, very tight.
For the White Hand!
On the causeway, Aragorn and Theoden both again called heroic combats and sliced through their opponents, making important kills in the scoring zone. It is all going to come down to the final turn.
Every time I finish one of these monster megaboards over on Zorpazorp, right here on Zorp of the Rings, we film a massive Lord of the Rings Warhammer battle report. But this channel has a problem. Warner Brothers automatically claims all of the monetization on these videos because I quite legally, within fair use snippets of the Lord of the Rings films. I do it all the time on main channel, and it's not a problem. In fact, Warner Brothers have had to withdraw so many incorrect claims, but when I do the exact same thing here on Zorp of the Rings, Warner Brothers takes all the cash and YouTube automatically rules in favor of the claimant, which is very frustrating, but it means that I lose all the monetization on these battle reports. So the only thing supporting these Zorp of the Rings games is Patreon. If you want this madness to continue, go and check out my Patreon, link down in the description. And if you don't have the cash for that, like the video, subscribe, and throw down a comment. That stuff genuinely helps. It's free and simple to do, and it's a great way to show your support for Zorp of the Rings. A huge thank you to you guys for watching, and let's get back to the battle. The final turn and the Siege of Helm's Deep is going down to the wire. The deeping wall is well and truly stitched up for Isengard. The rear battlement, however, is very tight. 8 models aside, duking it out. Over in the Hornburg, the inner courtyard, absolutely secure for Rohan, but the outer battlement could swing either way, depending on priority. And then we have the causeway and the gate. That's going to all depend on Theoden and Aragorn's charge. And then the valley, the center of the Helm's Deep Valley. We need a big successful charge from Eomer and the riders to secure that objective. 4 out of 6 will see either side for victory, and 4 objectives are still in play. So the final priority, this is going to be a big one. Come on, Jacob, let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm not strong.
I can beat that.
Only just!
Perfect.
Starting at the rear battlement, the Uruks launched up the stairs, getting as many warriors in combat. 3 Uruk-hai died to only 2 Rohirrim, scoring the objective to Rohan with 6 models to 5, and taking our first contested objective for the forces of good. But over on the Hornburg outer battlement, priority was a huge victory for Isengard. Aragorn and Gimli's withdrawal to horseback has left a huge hole in my defensive line, which was filled by a huge surge of Uruk-hai pouring onto the battlement. Even if Rohan won and killed in every single combat, they just don't have the numbers to flip this objective, leveling the scoreline at 2 objectives each. It all comes down to our 2 cavalry charges, and Aragorn, of course, down on the causeway, called a heroic move to marshal one last glorious charge for the King of Rohan.
So we're jumping again to the combat phase here up on the causeway. Aragorn is fighting one, calling a heroic combat with his free point of might. He's on the 6, no dice for you, Jacob. I need to kill all of these Uruks off every combat to have enough to claim it. Right, let's get the first one. Oh no! No, he's knocked down.
Knocked over, so
he's
you can
knocked
roll
over.
it again.
And we've got
There
it.
we
That
go.
is much better. So he dies, and then Aragorn launches forward into that model. I'll take the back 2. And now we have Theoden. Theoden's only got 3 dice on the charge. Get me that 6. Yes!
Oh no. I want to roll dice.
No,
Lucky.
we
Come
don't
on.
want Jacob rolling dice. And Theoden also knocking down. He gets it on the first. That is much better.
Okay. So you still need to kill these models if you want to claim that objective.
Yes, we have to get more models here on this causeway. So let's continue with Theoden while we're there. He's got 1 dice, and he doesn't get the 6.
You make me roll Rohan dice. It's filthy, and it's a 6. Oh,
No, I get it.
So close.
Got it on fight value. Okay, here we go. We need another 5. And there it is, yes.
Okay, these Uruks must win this fight for me to have a chance. Here's my 2 dice. 5s.
5s, that's pretty strong. Oh, not strong enough for
got the
Aragorn.
6.
Now I have to kill both of them to win the causeway. So, 2 dice at a time on the first Uruk. And he's dead with double 6s. Looking for a 5 and 2 6s again. So that is the causeway for Rohan. It is 3 objectives to 2, and I have to win down in the valley floor to stop Jacob from pinching a draw. It is first light on the 5th day, and Gandalf and Éomer are going hard. Every single model in this charge has unlimited chainable heroic combats. If they successfully kill models, they keep on charging. And we are going to start with Éomer and Gandalf, with the future King of Rohan to begin. He is on 4, a big 6, yes.
Huge.
No dice for Jacob, just the way we like it. And he is fighting 2 Uruk-hai. First one is dead. Second one is dead, so he is charging on.
For the glory of Rohan!
Into the back ranks. Now Gandalf the White with 4 attacks on the charge in this new edition, and he's only on 4s, Jacob.
4 dice with the pikes. I've got the 6 now. You do have full might on him.
Yes, and of course, with Look to the Sun, you're at -1 dual
Oh,
rolls.
that's true. So you only have to spend 1 might.
Spend 1 point of might and win it on fight value, and now it is 2 strikes on each Uruk, chasing 4s with Glamdring. And 3s, 4s.
That's the first one.
Final Uruk, and Gandalf charges again too.
Back to the darkness!
With the score currently sitting at 2 objectives to 3 in favor of Rohan, the mighty charge of Éomer and Gandalf will decide this battle. At the beginning of the charge, within the valley floor objective, there were 22 Uruk-hai and 10 Rohirrim. Over an absolutely staggering turn of combat, seeing several absolutely mental heroic combat chains across the entire cavalry charge, Rohan lost 8 riders of Rohan, but in exchange plundered 42 Isengard models. But critically, Gandalf and Éomer almost single-handedly obliterated the Uruk-hai force upon the objective, finally each losing a combat on the last 2 Uruks in the scoring zone, which left the objective held 16-2, an absolute massacre to take the final objective scoreline for the game, 4-2, in favor of the forces of Rohan. This battle was hands down the greatest wargaming experience of my life. The board, the armies, and it was so good, we just had to play it twice. So live right now over on Jacob's channel, Conquest Creations, we have a second Siege of Helms Deep game with some unique twists to shake things up. I even got to play the bad guys for a change, so go and check out Jacob's video, link down in the description and the pinned comment. And if you'd like to see how this glorious board was made, I've got the Helms Deep crafting playlist down there as well. To Andy, James, Maddie, Chris, Philip, and Evie, who lent Jacob and I the 650-something models we played the game with. An extra special shout out to Evie, who converted and painted the custom legless on Uruk-hai Shield skateboard and this beautiful Gimli model and donated them to the project. Go and check out her incredible Instagram, Steel Sheen Painting, link down below for some truly gorgeous Middle-earth paint jobs. And a huge thank you to Mikey Glasswell, who hooked me up with the Battle for Middle-earth voice files, which I lost years ago. It is so good to finally have them back for battle reports. Big thanks, Mikey. I've linked his channel down in the description. If you love this massive battle and you want to see more like it, go and support me down on Patreon. And the simple and free way to support Zorp of the Rings is just to click like and subscribe. And why don't you throw me a comment down below on which of my mega Zorpazorp dioramas you would like to see next on Zorp of the Rings. Cheers, guys, and thank you so much for watching.